It's not just cosplays in life that are trash. Yeah, literally all of my bedding. It's different because it was free and it's trash.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me, Kyle, as we talk about competing, specifically competing in cosplay competitions. Judged by other people, not like me and Willard are dressing up and judging each other. Willard doesn't wear clothes. Just remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, or as we know, Willard is gonna get you. Really sorry, I don't make the rules, but Willard's gonna do what Willard's gonna do. There are many different parts of cosplay, but one of the biggest ones, at least for me and a lot of other people that are... let's just say we're a little competitive. We like competing in cosplay competitions.
How we're going to do everything is we're going to bring everyone up front in the different categories that we have, allow them to be on stage. Please hold your applause while they're saying in here.
There tends to be a contest at pretty much every con you'll go to. Obviously, some smaller cons may only have a few entrants, and some of the skill levels there may not be at the same that you'd see at some of the larger cons. I really didn't start cosplaying until my 30s. Technically, I did like half of one in 2014. And then in 2022, when I did Nathan Drake, that's when I really started to like get into it, and I was in my 30s by then. I'm not 40 though. Not that it's bad. I'm just not. 40's the new 30, and 30's the new 20, and 20 is the new 10, and 10's the new 0. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. Before we continue, let's go back to me competing at Anime Week in Atlanta last October in 2023. Some people may be asking, why do you bother competing? Actually, no one really asks that. I am pretty honest with myself for the good and the bad, and I can say that I put a lot of work into my costumes, and I typically think they look pretty good, and I like showing them off. Some costumes, including like this one, took over 60 hours to complete, and might as well just like show off the costumes, you know? In addition to just walking across stage and getting in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people. Now there's a lot of prejudging and a lot of pre-signups. You kind of have to decide your costume months beforehand in some cases. The longest window I have done was 3 months, where you had to choose what costume you wanted to, submitted the categories you were going into, and yeah, you were pretty much locked in, and there were a limited number, like 34 spots or something in that competition. Because there are a limited number of slots and a lot of people take it really seriously, if you are going to take a slot in a competition where a lot of other people really want to get in and it takes a lot of work, they kind of want to make sure you're willing to do the work. And part of that is choosing a costume beforehand. Keep in mind, even if a costume only takes 15-20 hours, that literally may be a multi-week or month process. I mean, you have to like figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how to make sure that things are going to stay on while you're on stage. If you're going to be doing a skit or anything on stage, there's a lot of prep work that goes into it. So my costumes often don't play well with gravity, either due to weight or just structure in general. The Hanzo costume is probably the best example of this because the quiver is literally attached to parts of things that go around my waist that you can't see under my shorts. So if the idea of planning a costume out and putting yourself on a timeline and all this, if all that like makes you really stressed, well, welcome to competing. And speaking of competing, let's look at the Hut Slayer outfit from MTAC in April, March. It ran over the weekend.
Kyle Kirby as Prince Leia. I stand corrected. It's not Prince Leia. It's
I don't know how much coffee you're supposed to have in a day, but this doesn't taste very good. So we've talked about the before, but what about the during? I think everyone has some form of social anxiety, especially when you're doing things like presenting or speaking or just performing in front of anyone. It doesn't really restrict me from doing anything. I basically can't hear anything when I'm on stage. I think I'm just so focused on not messing up or my costume not falling apart or just trying to like block everything out of my head that like I really have no idea if people cheer for me when I'm on stage. Stage fright is definitely something that affects people in different ways, but there are many ways to overcome it. It's almost like an unconscious like self mechanism that if I'm going to be distracted or nervous by anything that I see or hear, I think I don't know, my body's like, nah, let's just not bring those senses in. Let's just keep them out. And not only is there like stage fright to get over, you saw during both of those, I wasn't wearing that many clothes. They were pretty revealing, to say the least. Actually, if I just said the least, I'd just do this. when you are performing and kind of being judged and critiqued, and people are hoping that you succeed, but you know, there's a chance that you could fail and not do anything great. I think that's a different level of exposure, and I think that overlaps with the exposed bits, arms, legs, feet, hair, toes. I think that compounds with, you don't have like clothes to shield you, if that makes sense, from other people's judgmental eyes, but I don't care about judgmental eyes if I'm not being judged. I feel like this is the world's worst tautology, but overall, it is kind of a pretty panicking experience. A couple ways that you can prepare for it is, I mean, for me, if you want to make yourself look as best as you can, I try to do things like not drink alcohol or get a lot of sleep the week before. And yeah, that's not necessarily look perfect, but that removes the whole, oh gosh, I hope I don't look bloated, because I like can't look bloated, because those are the things that I guess you can if someone like pumped you full of gas, just in all of your orifices. That's actually a very terrifying mental imagery. If a bunch of people came up to you and were just like, it's helium time, or it's argon time. Argon is my favorite element. It is number 18 on the periodic table. It's a noble gas, and I will shut up because I could go on about argon for a very long time. I really like argon. It's argon. Let's now look at me competing as the drumline Energizer Bunny from this past weekend.
As the Energizer Bunny. Oh, we powered down. Hold on. Oh, okay. We're putting it down. We're putting it down. Yeah! Let's go.
So in the first section, we talked about before the competition and all the panic and stressing of planning everything and how that goes. Second part, we talked about actually competing. And the third part is failing. Consider a small competition where there's only 10 people. You know the other 9 contestants, and you know that everyone is very talented. If there's only 3 prizes, that means that 70% of the people in the competition will not get any prize whatsoever. Does that mean the 70% of people that participated are bad? That does, I mean, they may suck. All that means is really that day, those costumes that did win, the judges just saw a different reason why they should be kind of propped up above everyone else. Even if you go into the competition thinking that you won't win, or like knowing that you're not expecting to win, it can still hurt when you don't win, because it is a lot of effort that went into it. There's only been one time where I was really bummed about a result. All I'm saying is, like, sometimes your feelings are going to get hurt. That's life. I mean, for example, I have now, I think, competed in 23 competitions, and I have placed in 3 of them. I haven't even won all 3. I've just placed in 3 of them. I get it. The before, during, and after of competition is, quite frankly, really hard and challenging in a lot of different ways. And you know what? I love it. This started out as just a really casual hobby for me, and turns out I really like doing pretty much all aspects of cosplay. Cosplay competition is really hard, but one thing that makes it super enjoyable is the great community that exists. I have made so many friends through competitions, and even when they beat me, I get really excited for them. And ultimately, the benefits of this are 10 times better than any of the negatives. Sure, it may be super stressful before the competition. During the competition, you're battling nerves and hoping you don't mess up. Then after the competition, maybe you have to psych yourself back up, because if you didn't win, I guess I kind of wouldn't have it any other way. I am really bad with planning for eating, and so one thing that I put on my wish list was I got a 12-pack of protein bars, and that was great for a con weekend like this past weekend. So thank you, Name Redacted, for doing that. I hope it's not too cliche saying that, like, oh, thank you, like, more than you know for that, but like little things like that really can kind of keep me going and going and going. And this accidentally turned into an Energizer Bunny after the second pun. I didn't realize it till then. I do that with a lot of things where I won't realize a joke until after I made it, and then I'll accidentally make like 80% of a joke, and then I'll just like say something else. I'm like, oh, I made a joke. Extra word. So as your daily reminder, will get you if you don't like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. So instead of doing a preview, because I actually need to go back and do something, I don't want to change another clothes right now. I'll put up 3 of my very tentative cost plans. Y'all tell me which one you want to see the most. Thanks, and see you next time, unless the sun blows up, and then none of us will see. That's not funny.
Ivysaur wasn't trash, though. My hair looks good like this. Yeah, I guess, sure, I'm in like bed to do this bit of like showing trash, but like this is bedhead.